Yes, people, welcome back to the Only Aya. And today we're talking about in and out rumors. Yes, people, is the show where we talk to you and bring you the best gossip around Europe. Transfer gossip. So, we're talking about Jadon Sancho today. We're going to be talking about Anthony today. We're going to be talking about João Felix today. We're going to be talking about Nicolas Jackson, the domino effect with him and where he will be going if Alexander Isak leaves, and the Šeško and the pull between Manchester United and Newcastle, Ollie Watkins and many more. But before we do that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so I can keep bringing you great content going forward. So, Jadon Sancho we see here linked to a move to Borussia Dortmund again. So freedom fighter is yet again fighting some sort of freedom. I don't understand this guy's issue. One, you have clubs paying for him to leave, which is Chelsea, paying $5 million to send him back to his club. Now you see Manchester United trying to get rid of him. And now every year Jadon Sancho now is going back to Dortmund. And it's like they don't want to pay any money. So not only have they collected nearly 75 bags for this guy, but now they don't want to even pay 10 to take him back. They just want to loan him out every year. Hey, Manchester United, right? Yeah, I really need to fix what's going on in this club. Because Jadon Sancho is a problem. He's been a problem since day one, and he will keep being a problem. And I'm not saying that he's a problem person. I'm just saying for the club. He's just been a massive issue every year. You have manager having to send him to away to train on his own. You have, which is Ten Hag. Now you have the club trying to say get rid of him. Every player that leaves the club, he and them are best friends. He's posting on their page. Now Garnacho has picked up that. And it's just sick, bro. Like, you just got to get rid of these guys. But within this same article from ESPN, you also see that they're talking about Nicolas Jackson going to Newcastle as a part of the domino effect if they fail to get Sesko in the battle they have with Manchester United. You see them now being rumoured with Nicolas Jackson. Now, I do feel Nicolas Jackson fits in at Newcastle better than Benjamin Sesko. And why I say that is because the high intensity, the lots of running in behind. Sesko is a big guy with athleticism, but I think as the years go on, he will lose that a bit. He will just become a traditional 9. Whereas with Nicolas Jackson, I feel like he will always be this guy who runs in behind, works hard. And as you can see, Eddie Howe just wants 3 guys across the front line that work hard. And with their high intensity, they will create chances. So, talking about working hard, we just jump straight into it with this guy we call rumored to go to Al Nassr. And everyone calls him and says his name is João Felix. Now, João Felix is being rumored to... Sorry for that. João Felix is being rumored to Al Nassr as a link to him going to meet Cristiano. Now, I think this is a good move for Jorge Mendes, but this is also a good move for João Felix in a way, but it's also a bad move. Now, let me tell you why I have pros and cons for this move. João Felix, the reason why I think João Felix failed, right, is because in European football, is not only because maybe of the talent-wise, because I do think he's a talented football player. But what I think the problem was, he had too much pressure on him being the hottest prospect after Cristiano coming into, from Portugal, coming into Europe, and he had this massive transfer tag on him. And everyone thought that he would be hitting the numbers Cristiano have because, you know, he also have that kind of swagger and charisma and look like Cristiano a bit. So people were really making that comparison a big thing. And I think that's why he also got such a massive transfer fee when he transferred. And now you see he moved to Chelsea. It didn't work out for him. And he's going now to Al Nassr as a part of a deal for him to go meet up with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I think if he really wants this to be a real good part of his development, João Felix can really make this time he have with Cristiano work for him. He can build himself, learn off of Cristiano, and use the Cristiano training regimen, using it straight to how he build up his body, go straight into the World Cup and play a pivotal part for Portugal in the World Cup. Now, if I was the manager of Portugal national team, I would force this move and tell him, yo, you have a chance here to now actually fulfill what people think you could have been. Maybe not playing in the Saudi League, but being next to Cristiano for the next couple months will not haunt him or harm him from playing for Portugal. You know? It's not like they can say, oh, you play for Saudi, in the Saudi League, you can't play, when they're picking Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's why I think this would benefit him also in a way to just develop. And not only him, but also if this player moves and gets his move to the Saudi, Anthony, which I think also is a double move that Al Nassr is trying to make for these two players within 100 million, just 90 million pounds. So 50 million for one, 47 million package for one. So just under 100 million for these both players going to Saudi to play next to Cristiano. And I think Anthony also can benefit with playing next to Cristiano. I think Anthony is a hard-working player. He wants to get better. You can tell he's willing to take a pay cut to go to Betis. So him going to Saudi is actually more of him playing football. Him, Manchester United getting the 50 million pounds evaluation that they want. And him also now just getting money. Because money wasn't really the thing for him. And now he can get all three with a bonus of getting money while getting bonuses for playing and also getting bonuses for the goals and assists that he gets. Of course, he can bank out. He has two young kids. He can do this for the next year, improve, get better, get stronger, learn that Cristiano regime as well going into the World Cup because it doesn't affect him as a Brazilian playing for Brazil in the World Cup. And then after the World Cup, get a big move to a European team. So I think as his agent, I would tell him, bro, this is a good move for you, for me as well. Like, we all earn, we all do well, and everything will be good. But talking about, talking about legends and talking about Cristiano, there's another legend making a big move in the window soon. And let me pull up the big screen. This is a massive, massive move for the MLS because a lot of people don't understand the structure of the CONCACAF region. The CONCACAF region is not only the USA, Mexico, Canada, like North America. It's also the Caribbean countries. And these countries are very dependent on the USA leagues in the USA to be better. The better those leagues are, is the better the younger leagues are. The USL, the USL2, the NPSL, all these leagues, right? You have that are on the MLS, that the USL Championship and stuff. These leagues, they are very important for the development of the players in the CONCACAF region. Now, this is why you see only USA, Mexico, Canada, and these teams go to the World Cup because they have the Caribbean countries cannot actually compete with these countries based on populace, so based on the population. Those countries are massive. And then also based on the economy and the financial structure and the development of sport in these countries, they cannot compete either. So it's very hard for me to look at when I see players of the ilk of Thomas Müller moving to Vancouver Whitecaps to not be happy and joyous about things like this because as a Caribbean boy coming from Antigua, I totally understand what it's like being very dependent on the MLS, the USL, the NASL, the NPSL, all these things, the PDL, all these leagues are important for the development of players, not only in the USA, but the CONCACAF regions. That's why the USA sports, especially college sports, is a massive thing. And a lot of players go to college sports not understanding it's a small window. So of like playing, but it's about the sporting brand and you getting the outreach and you getting the exposure to certain things that actually benefits you through the college sports. Right? So this is why I'm so happy when I see Benjamin Jacobs, great journalist, and Tom Bogart from The Bill, great journalist, bringing out things like this, talking about Thomas Müller moving to Vancouver Whitecaps in 2026. did we know that he actually played his last game for Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup? So he'd probably have some time off, but I think he'll stay fit. I think he'll maybe have some time with family, do his thing, and then he'll get his move where he really wants to go and play in the MLS. This is a big thing for the MLS. When you see players like him, when you see players like Rodrigo de Paul, when you see players like them moving to the MLS, it's very important that we actually enjoy and appreciate what these moves will do, not only for the league, but also for the region, because the CONCACAF region needs it. It's very dependent on these leagues. It's the biggest, these leagues, the USA have the biggest leagues in that region. It's the biggest league. The Mexican league is big, yes, but no one really follows the Mexican La Liga. No one does. So we really have to understand, even the players there try to get to the MLS for that exposure. So it's very important that these players move there, and we have younger players and better players moving there. We need more Rodrigo de Pauls to go there. Players in the prime of their life that can go to top clubs, and then they go to the MLS. The more players that we get going to the MLS of that ilk, it'll be so much better for the MLS. And talking about the MLS and the development of players is another player we can talk about, which is a great player when you have the president of the club coming out and talking about you this way. Inter president saying, in the next 2 to 3 days, this player has to be at our club, is Ademola Lookman. Now, this guy's story is massive. He played for a relegated team, a team that's just relegated out to the Premier League, couldn't get in, wasn't the best player in the team, and now look at him. He went to Atlanta, he won a European trophy, he's been their best player, he's been getting good numbers, and I'm surprised a lot of Premier League clubs didn't go after Lookman, but I understand why, because he was in the league and he failed, and that's why a lot of people have reservations over Gyökeres, but at the end of the day, Lookman has earned his move now to one of the best teams in Europe, from a relegated Leicester to an Inter Milan, which is the Champions League finalist, so he is being rumoured for £40 million, 40 euros was turned down actually by Atlanta, and they more want the 50 million euros, 55 million euros, so like £50 million for Ademola Lookman. Now when you see players like Madueke, when you see players like Anthony and so being rumoured for 50 million, I can't be upset with Atlanta for saying, this player has been hot for us for the last couple of years. Let us really talk about us getting the right evaluation for this player. Now, Ademola Lookman is a player that a lot of us and a lot of players need to look at and idolize, and not only idolize, but these guys are the epitome of why the younger players should look at players like him, players like Müller, and not only the Cristiano Ronaldos and the Messis, because those guys are the gems of the world. They are freaks. They are things that we probably won't ever see again. But more common players like Lookman and even Luis Diaz and these profile of players that are really good players that have the potential to hit not the greatest, but they work hard. They come along, they do their job, they get good numbers. They're not stars, but they are good players. They are players that can impact your team to make your team full of stars, to make your stars better. And these guys are what you need around your team that make you effective, and you need this in your team. So a lot of players might just look at the Cristiano Ronaldos and the Messi and the LeBron James and the Kobe Bryant and the Michael Jordans and all these guys and say, yeah, I want to be great. But you look at these guys, but you also should look at the journeys of these other guys, in the sport, the Kyrie Irvings and, the Ademola Lookmans and just different guys who aren't stars, but they're stars in their own way. And they're stars when they go to certain teams. But in bigger teams, they're not stars. They are complementary stars. They're co-stars to the main film. So, yes, people, it's been your boy Yaya coming to your live, just bringing you some knowledge about the rumours going in. Will Ademola Lookman end up at Inter Milan? Will Jadon Sancho go back to Borussia Dortmund. What do you think about the moves of Al Nassr and João Felix moving to Al Nassr and Anthony moving to Al Nassr? Do you think it's a good move for these young players to be around Cristiano Ronaldo? Also, Thomas Müller moving to the MLS. Is it a good move? Is it a great move for the MLS and also for the CONCACAF region? Yes, people, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so we can keep bringing you great content going forward. It's been your boy Yaya coming to you great live everything on this show. Have a good day and peace and stay. I can't tell you on the stream, but you take care.